folks, Yishai Fleisher here. We're almost at the Torah portion of Shlach, one of my favorite Torah portions, usually around my birthday as well. And in this Torah portion, we learn about the Jewish people as they're coming close to the land of Israel, to the border of the land of Israel. This is it. They're gonna, they've left Egypt. They've received the Torah, and now they're going into the land of Israel. And Moses sends 12 spies to spy out and figure out how to capture the land of Israel. Sadly, though, 10 spies come back with a negative report. We won't be able to do it. They're too strong over there. The international community will not allow it. We're going to be BDS'd. I don't know. We're going to be destroyed. We won't be able to do it. We can't win. We want to go back to the desert. In fact, we just want to go back to Egypt. Plug me back into the matrix. I just want to be a slave. I'm happy with that, okay? Now, 2 spies. One of them was Joshua ben Nun, and the other one is Caleb ben Yefuneh. Joshua and Caleb, they have a different perspective. First thing, their perspective is courage. They are courageous. They're not afraid. They're not all about the international community. They're not all about the terrorists. They're not all about the war. They're about something bigger. They're about Jewish identity. They know their history, and they're also courageous. They're simply courageous. Maybe because they know their history and their identity. Now, in order to plug into their history and identity, these two needed a little bit of a spiritual boost, if you will. And one, Joshua, he got an extra yud to his name. His name was Hoshea, but he got an extra yud. And the rabbis tell us that it actually comes from Sarah. Her name was Sarai. She got a hey, the extra yud, a little letter that looks like this, went over from her and went all the way to Joshua many generations later. So Joshua, instead of being Hoshea, became Yehoshua, okay? So he had a connection to Sarah. But Caleb, it wasn't enough for him he didn't get a name change. It wasn't enough for him to get some kind of spiritual gift from Moses or that name change. He actually had to come here. He went to Parshat Machpela, to the tomb of the patriarchs and matriarchs. And you know what he said? He said, after 210 years of slavery in Egypt, we are coming back home. And he basically asked for the prayers of the forefathers and mothers who are sleeping here or interred here. And he came back into the camp, and the Jewish people, they wanted to kill Joshua and Caleb. They wanted to kill them. They were like, no way, Jose. You guys are endangering us. You're fanatics. You're extremists. You're on the edge over there. We're moderate. We want to become slaves again. We just want to accept what the world tells us to do and all that kind of stuff. And basically, Caleb and Joshua said, no, we can take up this land. It is a good land. God is with us. Don't be afraid. Well, they didn't listen to him, and that whole generation had to die off. That's the 40 years in the desert. It didn't take the Jews 40 years to get from Egypt to Israel. It was because they were punished. That generation was punished for 40 years. They missed their window. They were punished to die out in the desert. And that very night that the Jewish people cried and rejected the idea of courage and rejected the idea of the land of Israel, that very night is Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av. That's the night that God said, you cried for naught. You cried for nothing. You will remember this night by crying for the destruction of 2 temples. So really what Tisha B'Av is really about is about rejecting the land of Israel. And it's about rejecting courage and embracing fear. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to be courageous. Yes, there are some challenges. Yes, there are some bad guys around us. Yes, there are things that look scary. Not everybody in the international community embraces the idea of a Jewish people in Jerusalem, in Hebron, in Shiloh, in Bethel. It's true, not everybody embraces that, but we have to embrace it. We've got to be courageous. We've got to love this moment, because we are living in an incredible moment. The moment where the Jewish people are being brought back to the land of Israel. God bless you wherever you are. May God give us strength not to be afraid. May God give us the courage to embrace this time and to understand that we're living in the greatest time that could have been imagined. The return of the Jewish people to the land of Israel, with a wonderful flourishing economy, with our language that has reawakened, with the rebirth of our people in this land, with children walking on the Mount of Olives, the true Tchiyat HaMetim, the true redemption, the resurrection of the dead in a time of redemption. God bless you wherever you are. Stay tuned, stay strong, stay connected, and visit us in Hebron, where Mom and Dad are waiting for you.